We were told that we were going to be building the largest abortion facility in the Western Hemisphere. And it was in Houston. It's open now.
Abby Johnson was climbing the ranks at Planned Parenthood and becoming a clinic director.
We were going to be able to perform abortions through the 6th month of pregnancy. We were going to be able to perform 75 abortions every day, 6 days a week.
Then she was asked to help abort a 13-week-old baby, and Abby saw with her own eyes the horror of abortion.
Seeing that, I just knew that there was no justification in the world that could make what I saw okay. And I thought, no, all of this has just been a lie.
I've had enough. I wasn't made for this. To all the lies that have tried to cripple me with doubt, I think it's time to say goodbye. I know who I am now.
After leaving Planned Parenthood, Abby started a ministry for abortion clinic workers. The mission was to help them get out of the abortion industry and into a relationship with Jesus Christ. A movie about Abby has touched thousands of lives since it hit theaters this spring. Abby Johnson is our guest on this episode of GPS God, People, Stories, an outreach of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. I'm Jim Kirkland.
And I'm Phil Fleischman. Abby was blind to the evils of abortion for years, but then God healed her of that blindness. And a little later in the episode, you're going to hear Billy Graham talk about a man in the Bible named Bartimaeus who had a similar experience.
Now this Bartimaeus could not see his rags, he couldn't see his filth, he couldn't see even beauty. There are thousands of people here tonight that you can see me up here, but you are spiritually blind. And it's a blindness that keeps you from really knowing God.
Do you need God to open your eyes? He will, and we can tell you how. Visit us at this website, findpeacewithgod.net. That's findpeacewithgod.net. And another way you can connect with us is through email. The address is gps@billygraham.org. It's gps@billygraham.org.
GPS.
God.
People. Stories.
I grew up in South Louisiana, so outside of Baton Rouge.
Abby Johnson was born in 1980, the only child of two loving parents who raised her in a Christian home.
I grew up in a pro-life home, but I don't know, I guess it wasn't something that we talked about a whole lot.
Abby was only 16 when she graduated from high school with a 4.0 and got ready to head to Texas A&M for college. As she puts it, though, she went a little crazy with her newfound freedom.
I was a good kid growing up, didn't really get into trouble, never broke curfew, anything like that. I went to college and just sort of went crazy. I just did the college thing and was just partying all the time.
While she was away at college, Abby got pregnant. The man was 8 years older, and he pushed her to get an abortion.
I just remember thinking, well, I'm going to have this abortion, and I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I can't disappoint my parents. They can't know that I'm pregnant. It would be, really embarrassing for them. And so I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to move on with my life. And I don't know. It's weird. When you think about how you can sort of justify things in your mind, but I just sort of thought, well, I'm going to do this, and it's only going to be one time, and I can still say I'm pro-life, and that's it.
Abby had a surgical abortion, and she ended up marrying the man who got her pregnant.
And about a year after that first abortion, Abby met a woman who worked for Planned Parenthood. This woman told Abby the organization helped low-income women and did a lot of good.
I fell for their talking points pretty easily because I was raised to believe abortion was wrong, but I didn't know anything about Planned Parenthood. I wasn't educated on, the pro-choice agenda or anything like that. So I was just pretty ignorant to all of this.
Abby's involvement with Planned Parenthood started out with volunteering, but soon it turned into a full-time job.
And Abby's decision to have that one abortion and never do it again, well, it didn't hold up when she got pregnant for a second time, just before her husband walked out on her.
It was immediately after my husband had left. I found out I was pregnant again, and I did not want any ties to him. And so I was already at the clinic. It was very convenient for me to just have an abortion. And so that's what I did.
But something Abby thought would be quick and relatively painless was not. Abby says her experience with a medication abortion called RU486 was a nightmare.
The medication abortion is sold to women as this more natural method of aborting. And so I thought, okay, well, this is what I'll do. I've had a surgical abortion, so now I'm going to do the medication abortion. And it was awful. It was just 8 weeks of horror. Bleeding, cramping, passing blood clots the size of lemons, fever. It was terrible.
As horrific as that experience was, Abby still wasn't ready to turn her back on Planned Parenthood or on abortion rights. And because she was smart and motivated and hardworking, she quickly rose through the ranks at work.
I really believed that we were there to keep abortion rare. That's what, I had been told by Planned Parenthood. I had been told that our goal was to keep abortion safe, legal, and rare.
But as Abby climbed the career ladder and became one of the youngest clinic directors in the country, that line, safe, legal, and rare, was not matching up with the way Planned Parenthood did business.
There were just a lot of things that kept happening. We were told that we were going to be building the largest abortion facility in the Western Hemisphere. And it was in Houston. It's open now. We were going to be able to perform abortions through the 6th month of pregnancy. We were going to be able to perform 75 abortions every day, 6 days a week. And all of it just made me feel very uncomfortable. I thought, what is going on? It seems like we are becoming abortion obsessed. And that was just not really why I had gotten into it.
Now, while all of this was happening, there was another development in Abby's life. She met a man named Doug. They fell in love and got married.
And get this, Doug was pro-life, much like Abby's parents. So while Abby is becoming this rising star at Planned Parenthood, her husband and her parents are quietly praying for God to change her mind and her heart.
And God was working on Abby's heart, but dark forces were also at work. Each time Abby would start to question her job, something happened that pulled her back in. For instance, she was named Planned Parenthood's Employee of the Year. Well, that caused her to double down and renew her commitment to her job. But a short time later, the scales began to tip.
That summer, we had funding issues. We always did over the summer. And I had a budget meeting with my supervisor, and she was telling me that we were going to be doubling our abortion quota. So the number of abortions that we had to sell to women coming in. And I just thought, what is going on here? If our goal is to keep abortion safe, legal, and rare, why do we have an abortion quota in the first place? Number one. Number two, why are we being told now to double the abortion quota?
Abby pushed back against her orders and decided she was going to try to